Yo, all you loyal MFers, welcome back to yet another episode of Warzone here at MFW. I'm your host, MC, commentator, all around nice guy, your friendly neighborhood Roman Empire, and I'm so happy to have you back with us. We are fresh off the Bulletproof pay-per-view. We have some new champions, we have some retaining champions, but what we have for you tonight is our Warzone roster's fallout from that pay-per-view. We're headed towards another pay-per-view in the short distance. You can see it right on the horizon, Infinity, where two very important briefcases will be on the line. But we're thinking a little too far ahead, so let's bring it back here to Sacramento, California, where we are ready to kick off with Multiversal Women's Champion Jean Grey, the Phoenix, looking to find another challenger in the women's division. As we get set for one-on-one action, it should be noted that both members of this match have factions that they are a part of, and they were told they could only bring 2 of their 3 backup members to the ring. So they've each selected 2 out of those 3 to accompany them. Keep things fair, it will only be 2 in each corner for these individuals. And Jean Grey coming to the ring, as you can see, with Iceman and Cyclops of X-Men First Class. No surprise, Jean Grey bringing Scott Summers along. It was more of a question of who the third would be, and it seems she's chosen Bobby Drake. Thank you once again, everybody, for joining me. Always a pleasure. Always nice to be a part of your day. And all the support you guys show, all the love, very much appreciated. Each and every episode. It's hot as hell here in my neck of the woods. Not in California, myself. Sorry to break the illusion. But yeah. Brooklyn, New York is hot as... Alright, well, there's a lot of things I could say right now, but I should probably wait till we get past the first, minute or so before I start saying... Anyway, as we get ready to move on here with the representative of the Fantastic Four, who is set to take on Jean Grey in one-on-one action. Invisible Woman, aka Susan Storm, no surprise, will be accompanied to the ring by Reed Richards, as you can see here. But again, the question of who would be the third in that corner, Johnny Storm, Fire and Ice, paralleling each other quite nicely. Perhaps predicting that might be one of the options put forth by the opposing squad. Either way, I think this plans to be a fair matchup. I don't anticipate a lot of shenanigans, but you can't guarantee that with any of these factions, as we know. It's not about whether you're a good guy or a bad guy or what's cheating or what's not. It's about getting results. And all of our teams and individuals here on Warzone and on Fight Night know that. And that's where the priorities lie, as we've seen many times before. And the bell has rung and we're ready to kick things off. Jean Grey going into a lockup here, keeping control of Invisible Woman. Tossing around Susan Storm with relative ease. Perhaps surprisingly so. But Susan Storm fighting back, pushing her against the ropes, making a point here. Once again, keeping her pressed to the ropes, slowing down the pace. Probably a smart move, given that Jean Grey has a very high-paced offense. The Phoenix Splash, one of her devastating finishing maneuvers. Aerial combat. Once again, Susan Storm keeping her in the corner. Ref now breaking things up. And immediately into that innovative offense. Oh, but misses the springboard moonsault. Susan Storm rolling out of the way just in time. Could see her still writhing in pain, but able to avoid that springboard offense. Now Susan Storm gets her in that corner, but Jean Grey fighting back. These two trading counters back and forth. Ooh. Clothesline takes Jean Grey out of the ring. Look, she's really favoring that lower back. Perhaps a weak point for the champion at the moment. Susan Storm dragging her over to those... Ooh, I thought it was going to be the steel steps. Took her to the barricade instead. Ooh, and a kick. Sends her over the barricade. A roundhouse kick sends her tumbling. And we're fighting into the crowd here if they're not careful. Oh, sent her right back over with a forearm. If they're not careful, there could be a count out here. Both squad members now very aware of the count, getting back in the ring. Wise to do so. Ooh, and a counter into an arm drag. Susan Storm came prepared. That whipping jawbreaker-like maneuver. Once again, Susan Storm taking her to the ropes, but caught her! That dragon twist-like kick. Elevated flatliner. Into the pin. 1, 2, only a 2 count. If you remember, Jean Grey was in Multiversal Women's Championship action going after the former champion, Captain Marvel, to gain that championship. Now looking forward to new challengers, hopefully. Hence taking on Susan Storm. But you have to imagine Carol Danvers is somewhere right around the corner just scouting, waiting for an opportunity to get back into the title picture and get her rematch and go after the Multiversal Women's Championship as a Hurricane Rana puts Susan Storm on top for the moment. Leg drop to follow up into the quick pin. A pretty close 2 count there, considering. Just shows the level of damage that Jean Grey has taken, how much exhaustion she must be going through. But fighting back, the feisty redhead from the first class of X-Men. You can see Cyclops and Iceman getting rather excited out there on the outside. Feeling good about their teammates' prospects, it seems. Moving out of the way, and smart move to do so. Torpedo DDT through the ropes. Crowd raucously chanting, "This is awesome." Iceman now getting rather close to scout out what's going on. Obviously can't interfere though, especially in plain view of the referee, without getting their partner disqualified. A big flying clothesline. Already at a 5 count. Susan Storm with a drop kick, not bothering to get her in just yet, doing as much damage as she can, on the outside before getting back in the ring. Ooh, and a knee to the lower back as we saw her favoring that lower back earlier. Not too surprising that it would become targeted. Excuse me. Big elbow drop. Susan Storm quick into the pin. Not even a 2 count though. Surprising resilience given how much damage the midsection has taken over the course of this match. Oh, wait a minute. Elevated flatliner. Right into the pin. 1, 2, 3. And that is your winner, the Multiversal Women's Champion, Jean Grey, pulling out a victory fresh off her title win. A big congratulations to the winner on that one. A hell of an effort by Susan Storm. But in the end, the champion picking up the win in decisive fashion. That elevated flatliner. It's not one of her finishers, but definitely a signature maneuver of hers. So dangerous. Can't underestimate it just because it's not the Phoenix Splash or the Phoenix Takeover. And that is evidence right there as we're getting ready to hear from Dr. Doom. Apparently, Victor Von Doom, who has returned, fresh off his win to become the Multiversal Champion over Thor, wants to address the MFW Multiverse. No surprise there, the ego on that man, that the first thing he wants to do after gaining the title he failed to gain the first time at Flashpoint is to grab a mic. But let's hear what he has to say. Many expect the burned face of Victor Von Doom. However, for those who know, in the comics there was a point where he was magically healed, so No Scarface for you. This man looking just fine.
You know it's a good sign when you're getting booed. I don't need your support. I am here to kick ass. So Vine all you want.
Well, I don't think anybody was expecting a gracious Victor Von Doom as champion. So, if you were, well, hold on a sec. Well, it seems that the former champion taken exception to the beginning of this man's reign already. No surprise there. Thor making his way to the ring, interrupting the new Multiversal Champion, Victor Von Doom. Gotta imagine he has something to say and probably has a rematch in mind. It was only just at Bulletproof that Thor lost that championship to Dr. Doom. Won it in a triple threat involving both these men and the Man of Steel, Superman. Now it seems to have boiled down to just these two. These Marvel-born superstars have become fixated on one another, perhaps more so now than ever because of that championship. Let's hear from the man himself.
Tonight seems like a great night to make something special happen. Don't you people think so? I think the MFW Multiverse deserves to see something special. They've been a great crowd so far. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. I just know we're going to make it something special.
So far, the former champion keeping it civil.
You dare come out here and interrupt me, you insignificant little punk. Who the hell do you think you are? You had better come up with a damned good reason as to what you're doing out here, and you'd better do it now.
A very displeased and less than civil Doom in response.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, you really are something. You actually think these people care what you have to say, don't you? They're just listening to you because they have no choice. Now shut up before you get hurt.
Thor may have started out polite, but once things were taken to this level, he has no problem firing back, it seems.
I've grown bored with this. I was hoping that you'd provide some sort of amusement, but I clearly overestimated your charisma. Is there any chance you might have something of value to contribute, or should we just call this one now?
As always, you can practically feel the arrogance radiating off of Victor Von Doom.
Huh. Seeing you up close like this, I never realized just how awful your teeth are. You've got a scraggle tooth. You're like a saber-toothed tiger, except nowhere near as threatening. You're more like a kitten. Maybe you should have stayed at home where your ugly mug would have been safe.
Thor's patience slowly starting to wear thin.
Whoa, cowboy. Let's get one thing straight. I don't work for you, and I sure as hell don't work for the MFW Multiverse. I do things on my terms. I do what I want, when I want. So you can take your request and stuff it.
Apparently request to stay home denied.
Is this how it feels to be a lapdog? I mean, you could just start barking and no one would notice the difference. Because everything that comes out of your mouth is utter horse crap. So, keep on barking, little doggy.
I think Thor's mixing his animal metaphors here. Is he a saber-toothed tiger, a dog, and what does horse crap have to do with barking? I'm confused.
Do you want some cheese to go with that, Vine? Really, you're acting like a spoiled brat, and I don't cater to brats. That's why I don't listen to the MFW Multiverse that always scream and complain and call me names, but I don't care. At the end of the day, I do what is best for me and nobody else, which is why you'll get your match when I feel like it.
The champ making his authority clear.
That's it. I didn't come out here to be insulted, not by the MFW Multiverse and not by you. I don't need some two-bit punk like you telling me what to do in my ring. I've had it listening to all your nonsense. I'm out of here.
And there we have it, Doom taking his leave, but I have to say it doesn't seem like it will be over between these two men. You have to think there is a rematch somewhere in the very near future for that Multiversal Championship. Doom and Thor, we have not heard the last from either of these men. I'm certain of it. But we move on. Excuse me, what? Sorry, we're getting cameras backstage. We're told Bizarro has encountered Superboy backstage. It seems like he's not done with this young man. He just refuses to end this upset. Oh, Superboy must have taken offense to something he said in a clothesline. Levels him. We've seen Bizarro ever since losing one match to Superboy, despite not having lost again, has become obsessed with punishing Connor Kent. Has absolutely been laser focused on this young man. He came in, Lex Luthor brought him in essentially as his manager. Jesus, thrown into the equipment case. And now a pump handle slam onto the concrete. As we said, Lex Luthor brought him in as a tool to essentially take on Superman. Did so successfully, moved on, took out Superboy, but then under the tutelage of Superman, Superboy able to pick up a victory. And Bizarro went ballistic, knocking out the referee. And then ever since, we've seen a strange obsession, as the big boot is leveled here, from Bizarro to take out Superboy. Not just beat him, but to decimate him, destroy him. Really did not take that loss well, as Superboy fights back here, trying to defend himself from this assault. These two fighting it out, very close to gorilla position. Oh! Big belly-to-belly style slam. Bizarro now taking advantage of a blindsided, damaged Superboy. This is the kind of chaos that's been reigning over a lot of Warzone. Chugged over that tray area. That cart. Ooh, face first. We've seen a great deal of unsanctioned violence in the backstage area, particularly with the lack of authority figures on Warzone. Perhaps that will need to change sometime in the near future, or this will just continue. These superstars taking things into their own hands as they are used to. Oh, this could be it. We'll try to get security to get back there to break it up, but I think this might be too late. Setting up for the world's worst suplex, and down he goes. Yeah, safe to say, I don't think Superboy is going to be getting up for a bit. We've got security back there. We got medical personnel. Bizarro has fled the scene. But we have to move on. The show must go on. So, speaking of backstage assaults, recently Iron Patriot assaulted Iron Man before a match he was supposed to have that would have potentially qualified him for a championship match. Of course, went in damaged, did Tony Stark, because of that assault. And so there's some unfinished business between these two armored individuals. As Iron Patriot steps forward to take on that role, I think based on the assault we saw, we can rule out James Rhodes wearing the Iron Patriot armor. Obviously, this is multiversal warfare, so you're going to see possibilities of different versions of characters or their secret identities making it to the ring. James Rhodes, one of the men who has worn that armor in the cinematic universe. Another, Killian. The third, Norman Osborn from the comics. Which one is under that suit, we do not know. Whichever one seems to be obsessed with taking down Tony Stark, we will find out, hopefully, in the near future. But with no guarantees of that, we can only focus on the matter at hand, and that is the assault that took place backstage and the fact that Iron Man has asked for this matchup. That was, of course, before Bulletproof, where that assault took place. As Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, makes his way to the ring, probably in much better shape than he did the last time we saw him on the show. We won't waste any more time getting straight into the action. Both men in their corners waiting to get at one another. Oh, looked like he was going for a right hand and immediately into a suplex. Iron Man not wasting any time getting his retribution. Oh, but a huge super kick. You heard the impact into a German suplex. That straitjacket style. So, a loud impact. Those armored boots to the jaw. Luckily, his opponent also wearing armor. That would have hurt something awful. Not that it was exactly pleasant. Regardless. Iron Patriot now stomping away at a downed Tony Stark. Working the limbs. But Stark gonna fight back as best he can. And now the tables have turned, now stomping away at a prone Iron Patriot, returning the favor. Obviously, as we mentioned, that attack backstage from Iron Patriot right before a #1 contendership match for the Multiversal Championship between Thanos, Dr. Doom, and Iron Man. And it was that assault that allowed Doom to capitalize and walk out as the #1 contender, and eventually, as we saw at Bulletproof, as the champion. So there's got to be some pent-up resentment from Iron Man being cost an opportunity, as well as potentially wondering if there was any sort of collusion between Iron Patriot and Dr. Doom, allowing Doom to pick up that championship victory. I guess we'll find out if we see Iron Patriot earning any title shots suddenly out of the blue in the near future. Is now locking in this leg scissor, tossing about his opponent. Regardless of what the intentions were or what might have been behind that assault, the fact remains Iron Patriot is not done with Iron Man as far as Stark is concerned. Snake Eyes over the top rope. While we're at it, remember, if you're enjoying the action here tonight and you like what we put out for you each and every episode, give this one a like, throw in the comments, let us know what you want to see. And oh, curb stomp. This man emulating the moves of others perhaps might be a hint to the kind of person under the armor. Comment and let us know what you think and what you want to see moving forward into the future. Promise you I read them, but it takes time putting these episodes together. So if you want to see the effects of your input, give it a little bit. And remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. Always proud to have you guys support and have you guys with me each and every time we put one of these together. Oh, and a big impact jumping complete shot right into the pin. 1, and not even a 2 count. That sort of tilt-a-whirl facebuster. I now sort of understand how difficult it is to plug something while you're calling action. As we see the Mark V being set up here. Hits it! Will this be the end? 1, 2. Only a 2 count, but a close one. Iron Man nearly putting Iron Patriot away. If I had to venture any suspicions based on seeing the sort of borrowed move aspects from Iron Patriot and the obsession with Tony Stark, with taking him down and being better than him, it's got to be either Killian or Osborn. And hard to say which, as the shoulder block takes into the lower back. And now, suddenly setting up, cutthroat side slam. Can he hit it? He does! This could be it. Into the pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Stark managing to power out of that finishing maneuver. Already Iron Patriot, though, ready and waiting to take advantage of a groggy Stark. Hesitating here, though. I think this might be a mistake. He's got his opponent's back to him all the time in the world to take advantage. Not really sure what he's thinking here. Somehow managed to pull off that maneuver, borrowed from Crossbones. Again, that might be another hint. There are certain people who have worked with others within the Marvel Universe as members of different organizations, so I would not be surprised if my theory now that this is in fact Norman Osborn would turn out to be true. Killian has no experience, to my knowledge, with the likes of Crossbones, nor the Punisher, whom that curb stomp was borrowed from. Oh! Into the pin off that rolling Death Valley driver. That was a move from Daredevil. Only a 2 count. Matt Murdock's move. Yeah, I have to say, based on the information at Norman Osborn's disposal when he ran the organization Hammer and the Dark Avengers, I have to say this seems to shape up that this is Norman Osborn as he goes for a second cutthroat side slam straight into the pin. 1, 2. Oh, nearly a 3 count. You almost heard it hit the mat. A 2.9. Stark continues to fight out of this. And now, who I have to presume is Osborn, locking in that submission. Sort of a single leg Boston Crab mixed with an STO, an STF. But Stark refusing to tap out, and he's going to release the hold. Once again, working the limbs, stomping away at the legs. Trying to take away that power base from his opponent. Oh, come on, ref. He's using the ropes. Only a 2 count. Ref didn't see it, but Stark able to get out from under that pinning predicament. Oh, wait a minute. Up into the military press. Power slam. A move perhaps borrowed while training with former fellow Avenger, the Hulk, over on Fight Night. Presence felt here on Warzone with that power slam, and now a second Mark V nails it. That might be it. Count it, ref. 1, 2. Oh, and only a 2. Once again, a 2.9. So close, but Stark not able to put away Patriot. Patriot kicking out at the very last moment. Stark wisely, though, staying on his opponent, keeping Patriot grounded. Now into a sleeper, that chin lock. You want to slow down the pace when you're in control, especially if you're a power-based offense like Stark. Keeps you in control and keeps your opponent from shifting the momentum back in their favor. Oh, but a big crossbody into a flurry of wild fists. That unhinged style would fit with the suspected Norman Osborn. Elbow coming in from up top on that turnbuckle to the helmeted head. Easier done than said, I guess. Helmeted head. Look at my enunciation. As they now fight it out on the outside. Patriot getting his opponent back in the ring. Obviously, countouts and disqualifications are in place. So you gotta win with a pin or submission in the ring, or by only one of your opponents getting counted out. Went for the stomp, the carnivore stomp. Once again, a move from the villain Carnage. Borrowing all these moves seems to lend more credence to the knowledge and information that would have been accessed by someone like Norman Osborn, former director of Hammer. We could now be seeing that Jericho missile dropkick. Lands it! You saw the head rock back. Our camera shook a bit. Rocking Patriot in the corner. But he's not satisfied. Not going to go for the pin right off it. He's going to finish things off with another Mark 5. My voice broke because I'm so excited. 1, 2, 3. And Iron Man is your victor. Congratulations to Tony Stark getting a small measure of retribution, of punishment exacted on Iron Patriot. And as Stark celebrates, you gotta think Norman Osborn, if he is under that suit, is stewing. That man has quite the ego. Pride wounded, Patriot's plans dashed. But we are not done here. We move on. One more match for part 1 of Warzone, and we gotta bring the women back as we bring forth our undisputed women's tag team champions. But we are going to be in singles action yet again with this pair. We saw recently Batgirl took on Starfire in singles action, looking to make up for the tag team loss that these two suffered by getting sort of a half step in the right direction. The other half a step looking to be taken by Black Canary here tonight, taking on Raven 1-on-1, looking to also pick up a victory over one half of their tag team opponents. When a future title shot may be on the line, who knows? But so far, one of the few teams to pick up a victory over the Birds of Prey has been the Teen Titans, so you have to think it's somewhere on the agenda. Obviously, so many titles, only so many matches on our pay-per-views. Infinity will have those briefcases we mentioned and hinted to that we'll talk about more in the future on the line as well. But we are not adverse to putting these titles on the line on any random episode of Warzone or Fight Night, so you can't miss one. Because for all you know, it's the one where the titles change hands. So you gotta stay tuned. Thank you once again for joining us. Always a pleasure. As we get ready to kick off with women's division action, here is Raven set to take on Black Canary. A little battle of the birds to find out which one's predator and which one's prey. I mean, technically, one is birds of prey, but that makes it a predator. It's a very strange taxonomy in English language, and I'm nerding out. We move back to in-ring action. Bell is rung, and Black Canary straight in to a sunset flip, looking for a quick victory. Only a 1 count. Trying to catch her opponent by surprise. Now, of course, the undisputed women's tag team champions from Fight Night, but because the championships are defended on both brands, Warzone and Fight Night, that is why you see them so often here on Warzone defending against Warzone women's tag teams. Ooh, and a big right kick to the face levels Raven. An aggressive Black Canary coming out tonight. Face tossed into the mat. Continuing to work over the prone Raven, not giving her a moment to breathe. Oh, went for a springboard moonsault, but Raven rolled out of the way, and now suddenly everything's shifted in the favor of one half of the women's tag team of Teen Titans. These two fighting for control. Thus far, though, Black Canary have been quite impressively dominant as far as the offense of this matchup. Raven looking to fight back in with a snap suplex. Missing a knee to the back. And it seems like every time a little bit of offense comes Raven's way, Black Canary turns it around. Big leg drop to the back of the head. Going to the top turnbuckle, we could see a high-flying maneuver here. Oh, quite a twisting moonsault. There's a corkscrew moonsault, perhaps. Very impressive athleticism from Black Canary. Raven still tenacious, trying to fight back into this, though. Has not had the greatest start to this match, though. That being said, you know she's not going to give up till the very end. Going to put up as much of a fight as she can. And now looking to turn things around. Could be a middle rope Nevermore. Lands it. We've seen that maneuver before. That middle rope version of her finisher. And now setting up perhaps for the aforementioned finisher. Yes, Nevermore landed. One right after the other. Gotta think that'd put away Black Canary. 1, 2, Only a 2 count, about 2.5, despite all the damage to the face. Hit from that elevated version, then right into the classic Nevermore. Elbow drop. Wisely so. Raven continuing the assault, not giving Black Canary a moment to breathe, not getting too frustrated with the lack of a 3 count. She's managed to turn this momentum around. She wants to take advantage. Going for another middle rope, Nevermore. Hits it. Going straight into the pin this time. Nearly. Only about a 2.5, maybe even a 2.9. Very close. But no cigar, as they say. Does anybody say that anymore? I don't know. My dad used to say it a lot. Here we go. Nevermore. Into the pin immediately. 1, 2. Nearly. Yet again a near 3 count. Raven can't believe it. Questioning how that wasn't a 3 count. And Black Canary somehow just calling up these reserves out of nowhere. Wait a minute. She's removing the turnbuckle, looks like. Perhaps has something nasty in mind as she gets in this triangle hold. A submission. Raven powering out, it looks like. But the damage may be done. Oh, a rake of the eyes. I don't think the ref saw it. It was blocked by the view of Black Canary. Canary using every trick in the book, no matter how dirty. Canary cry. And this may be over after that rake in the eyes. 1, 2, 3, and a win's a win. No matter how you slice it. Black Canary picking up a singles victory over Raven, albeit perhaps by questionable means. A dubious victory, but a victory nonetheless for one half of the Undisputed Women's Tag Team Champions. Once again, I have to thank you all for joining me each and every episode. It means the world to me. I enjoy making these, and I'm hoping that all of you enjoy consuming it. They live. Consume my episodes. It's hot. I'm sorry, it makes me delirious. Thank you once again, everybody, for joining me. I am Roman Empire, your host, and hopefully your friend. And remember, if this is your silver lining in a bad day, or if you just need to pick me up because you're feeling a little bored or tedious, or it feels like things are a little gray in your world, and this is a bit of color, I hope that we can provide a splash of that each and every time one of these videos comes out. Thank you once again. You guys put a little color in my life just by watching. So thank you for all your support, and come back again anytime.